What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have to talk about Norman Reedus again stating Death Stranding 2 is happening. This time, I think it's a little bit more clear. I didn't want to do, a video exactly as I've done before, because I'm pretty sure on this channel, we've talked about this before. Norman Reedus has had a history, I think one, maybe two times before this, basically confirming it. He said things like, we're going to go back and do another, or he said something a little bit more ambiguous. This one, he makes it a little bit more specific. So he literally gets asked in this interview, okay, so you got the book going on, you got the final season coming out, and the spinoff, and you're filming Death Stranding, the video game. And then Reedus says, we just started the second one. It took me, and then this is later on, this isn't necessarily right after he said that. It took me maybe 2 or 3 years to finish all the mocap sessions and everything. It takes a lot of work, and the game came out, and it just won with all these awards, and it was a huge thing. So we just started part 2 of that. So up until this point, he's kept it open enough where you could argue he hasn't specifically been talking about Death Stranding 2. Maybe he's talking about DLC. Maybe he's talking, you know what I mean? Now, I've been pretty strong on he has been talking about 2, like he does literally mean a Death Stranding 2, but you could make the argument. But now this time, he literally says second one and part 2 of that. Now I wouldn't, and so Death Stranding part 2, is that something that could that the title makes sense to people? I think it does. I think you could call it Death Stranding something. You could do Death Stranding 2, or you could simply do Death Stranding part 2. I think either any of those three makes a lot of sense. Honestly, I love it. It's weird. I mean, we don't get this. We don't get people coming out. And now this ruins, because the gaming industry is very different from Hollywood, which would include movies and television, right? They're two different things, right? Now you have actors like jumping in and out of both of them. I'm not saying that. But in terms of the secrecy, gaming is much, much, much different than anything else. Where, yeah, I mean, in a TV show, right, or a movie, how often do you hear people say, oh, yeah, we're going back to film the next season, right? Like, you have people that say that all the time. It's common. Now, of course, there's things you want to keep secret, but you hear that quite often. How often in a game, though, do you hear, how often would Nolan North come out there and say, yeah, the first or the second Uncharted, it just did so good, or even the third, say Uncharted 3 comes out and then there's the fourth one, right? How would it be if he came out and said, yeah, that trilogy did so well, yeah, we're going back working on part 4 right now? It's like, oh my god, Nolan, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that does not happen. It just doesn't. So to hear Norman go out and talk about it basically as if it's a TV show, okay, and it's not a bad thing at all. It's honestly pretty fun. It ruins the secrecy, because at this point now we know a couple things. Kojima is 100% working on at least that. Now, the question is, what else is Kojima working on, right? Are they doing 2 games at a time, 3 games at a time? They could be, either or. I think they're doing at least 2, though. I don't think they're doing just one at a time. So they're doing this. This would be PlayStation exclusive, because Death Stranding is PlayStation. So Death Stranding 2 would be a PS5 exclusive, most likely, right? Probably release in 3 years. You probably could make the stretch, 2025 maybe. And they're doing it right now, which is going to take a while. Like, it'll probably take, at least 2.5 years to get the thing, all up to snuff. But, like, what I mean? So I guess the thing is, that's why it's so unheard of, because it's not just Norman Reedus confirming like there was going to be a sequel, but it's also like, okay, well, this kind of confirms a lot of other stuff, and it's like they're not going to announce it for a while. I'd imagine if he is just starting mocap, could they even? I guess they could. I guess they could do a small little teaser of it, which maybe they could do, in like a September PlayStation showcase. But they don't have to. They could really. This is a game you could hold for a while and not show, and then maybe show next year, maybe show the year after, and say, hey, it's coming out in like a couple months or like a year from now. Like, you could hold on to it for as long as you want. And now it's like, well, you can still do that, but everybody knows you're doing it now. So, again, he's done it before. He's used these kind of words before, but this is the first time that I think he's labeled it like this is the second game. Before, it wasn't so specific as to what he was working on, Death Stranding related with Hideo. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, all my social media, including my Twitter, my second channel, our Patreon, and YouTube memberships, the links are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.